Okay, here we are. Welcome to Infusions of Light, everyone. Okay, someone's saying they're having a hard time hearing me, so I'm going to go ahead and turn that up. Okay, so I'm going to talk louder as well. Please let me know if you continue having a hard time hearing me. I did a sound check earlier. Hopefully that will be solved. So, for those of you who are new great, thanks, it's better. All right, so for those of you who are new to Infusions of Light, this is a monthly global broadcast that's dedicated to the healing and evolution of humanity, one person at a time. And for those of you who are new to me, maybe you've never met me or never come across me, let me just take a moment to introduce myself and what I do and why I'm here. My name is Dr. Melissa Sophia Joy. I am a naturopathic doctor, a mind, body, spirit specialist. I also am a founder of a healing modality called Somatic Awakening. I am also a spiritual teacher as well as an ordained oracle from the Council of One, which is a council of ascended masters, other higher dimensional helpers, intergalactic helpers, as well as archangels. And I have been working with these beings for quite a while. And the one thing that I just want to say is that all of them are connected to both the law of one and the law of love. So, meaning the law of unity, that we're all connected, that God is underlying everything, and the love that is the oneness of God is underlying everything. And that their primary focus is to mentor us, is to help us evolve, to help us heal, in essence, to help humanity evolve. So it's a complete alignment with the intention of this broadcast. So here we are with the topic of the day, the topic of the last few weeks, especially for those who live in California, working with healing trauma. And today we're going to be focused specifically on healing trauma through tending our animal body. So, whether you have been involved in the fires, maybe you are evacuated like myself, you lost your home, maybe you had your power off like so many people did all throughout the Bay Area and beyond, or maybe you're walking through healing a really deep trauma that has nothing to do with the fires, or you lost a loved one. There have been so many people that have died, or whatever it is for you. I want to welcome you to this broadcast. This broadcast is dedicated to you who are healing your trauma, and you need to bring a deeper level of awareness and love and tending into your animal body. So what I'd like to do first of all is just give you an overall view of how this broadcast is going to go. Then we're going to go into an invocation and we're going to dive into material. So in a few moments, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the animal body a little bit more, because a lot of people may have an understanding of the animal body, but maybe not completely grok it, so to speak. So we're going to be talking about the animal body, why it's important, why you need to work with it. Then we're going to go into ways in which you can actually work with and tend the animal body on a daily level. Then from there, we're going to go into a meditation so that you can actually connect directly to your animal body, get a sense of where it's at, perhaps what it needs, how does it need tending. Then from there, we're going to take some time so you can write down whatever your experience is. So for those of you who are here earlier, you got the message. But those of you who are just joining, I want to give you the message as well. So you might want to grab some paper and a pen to jot down whatever arose from this experience. And you might want to jot down some notes about what we talk about in the more teaching section of the class as well, if that moves you. And then at the end, we're going to go into a transmission. And this transmission is basically we're opening up to the energy of Kuan Yin, Mother Mary, and Earth Mother Sophia Gaia to really help us deeply feel the energetic transformation that can happen when the divine feminine healing energy actually moves into and softens our animal body, bringing in whatever level of safety that it's ready to receive and a deeper sense of recalibration. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so let's go ahead and begin this section of opening to the invocation. So what we're going to do is we're going to be calling in our higher self, calling in the higher dimensional helpers to really hold this container that we're in. So as you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes, taking some nice deep breaths in and out, just taking a moment just to allow your breath to be nice and full. So nice full belly breath. So on the inhale, belly moving out, on the exhale, belly moving in. And as you breathe, just allowing yourself to get present, to come to this present moment that's here inherently in the breath. Another deep breath in and out. And we begin by calling on our higher self. All of your higher selves, whether you're listening to this broadcast now or going to be listening to it in the future, we now know and call forth a deep and powerful connection to our spirit, to our higher self, to that which is connected into this conduit of divine grace, divine healing, divine energy to be present with us now. So we call that forward. We know that that is here and in this container through time and space. Again, whether you're here in this moment or whether you hear this in the future, we now call forth a vast container that is held by Mother, Father, God, Supreme Being, all that is, the oneness that we are all connected to and beyond. So we now see and feel and hold this diamond light container, this very powerful, sanctified, holy container of protection, of healing, of wisdom, and whatever clarity needs to be brought forward here. We now know and feel and sense and claim this container now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we now align to the higher dimensional helpers that are connected to our higher self, that are connected to the law of one and the law of love. Specifically, we call in the energy, a loving, caring, tending, nurturing energy of Mother Mary, of Kuan Yin, and Earth Mother Sophia Gaia. Thank you so much for stepping forward today to being our overlighting guides and mentors to really help us understand this nurturing, divine feminine healing energy to deeply tend our animal bodies today. And we now know and call forth that the exact right and perfect energy is moving into each and every participant of this call through time. And we give this role over to each being's higher self to monitor and to calibrate how much energy is in the highest good for our animal body, for our nervous system, so that we can all stay easily and effortlessly within our capacity. And we now powerfully call this in, know this is so, allow it into our being on all levels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. So again, welcome everyone. So delighted to have you here with this incredibly important topic of healing trauma through tending our animal body. So we begin with the question, well, what exactly is our animal body? What does it really mean to connect to it? So first we begin with an intellectual understanding of it, but the animal body is not a mental construct at all. So we're going to go into an experiential understanding of it, the latter half of the class. So beginning with this intellectual understanding of it, let's go ahead and start at the brain. So the animal body is very much connected to our brain, our nervous system. There are many different aspects of our brain that we have embedded into them, these instinctual, primal ways of being. Uh, I'm not going to go into the long list of the different parts of our brain that is connected to both the reptilian parts of us and the animal parts of us, but I'll just say that it is many different aspects. I will just say a few: the reptilian part of our brain, the limbic aspect of our brain, definitely the amygdala, which is part of the limbic aspect. So we have within our nervous system already hardwired inside of us these instinctual, primal nature of our animal. Also, on a subconscious level and a somatic level. So let me define these a little bit for you, for those of you who have those terms, maybe understanding a little bit, but not completely. Subconscious meaning that it's below the level of our consciousness. Somatic meaning that it is the place in our body where the physical, energetic, and emotional aspects of being merged together. So we have this part of us that is embedded also in our somatic awareness. And we're going to be touching into that later on today. So in essence, the animal body is the primal nature, our primal nature, that is connected to and embedded in both our nervous system, aspects of our nervous system, as well as our somatic body. The other thing that I just want to say about the animal body from my own experience is that it's also incredibly and deeply connected to the core of our egoic structure. So its primary focus is to make sure that we survive. That's its modus operandi. That's what it's focused on. So when we have a feeling that we're in danger, even if our mental linear mind is saying, no, we're not in danger, everything is okay. But if we feel from an animal body place that we're in trouble, that's what we're going to feel. Now, our mind may be able to step in and to help us, calm us down. Our mind can be very helpful in that regard. However, when we're in an acute activation of trauma, like for many of us, whenever we were in the evacuation process, or definitely if the fire was close to your home, or perhaps if you just lost a loved one, or whatever it is, right? Whenever we're in that place, it's very, very acute. And what happens is that our animal instinctual way of being gets activated. So our fight, flight, freeze ways of being gets activated. So that means either we're fighting the fires, like the firefighters who did an incredible, amazing job. I just want to give a huge shout out, deep, deep gratitude. I was just talking about them today, this morning. I was talking to my mother. Thousands of firefighters here, right? They were in a complete on, full on fight the fire, and they did an incredible job. Just thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of us who evacuated, we fled. We got the heck out of Dodge, right? Some stayed, but many of us were like, I don't want to stay. We're in danger. We got to go, right? And then there's the freeze aspect, and that can be actually in the acute trauma, or it could be afterward, where we feel frozen, we feel shut down, we feel dissociated, right? So these are all very, very common ways of being. Then we go into what I'll call a subacute traumatic reaction from the animal body. So this is a really interesting piece because it's so connected to our egoic structure. So imagine the ego as an egg, right? And we have all of these core structures at the bottom of it. The animal body is one of, if not the core of the egoic structure. So when the animal body gets activated, and we're not in acute trauma in that moment, so we're not quite in the fight, flight, freeze, what happens is that the animal body will activate what I call sub voices, the sub voices of the ego. So in other words, what happens is that if we have a tendency, as for an example, toward anger, then to protect us, right? So then when the animal body gets activated, that person might get really angry. Or if we have a tendency to be anxious and be really graspy, what will happen is that we will then grasp onto, whether it be a human being or people or substances, whatever that is, we grasp. Or it could be that the avoidant aspect of us is triggered. So we push people away. We're the lone wolf. We don't want to talk to anybody. Leave me alone. Right. So all of these different things, all of these different ways of being can be activated when our animal body is in the state of subacute trauma. So what I've experienced with myself, to be quite honest, as well as with many of my patients, is that, we look normal. We maybe have a sense of normalcy. Everything is back to normal. It's as if business as usual. But inside, it doesn't feel like that. Maybe there's a more irritability, maybe there's more anxiousness or more stress. And just to clarify, this goes for everyone who lost their power too, because remember, our animal body, if it doesn't feel safe, it's feeling as if it's an acute trauma. Now, this could also be true. Our animal body could be in a sense of acute trauma from past traumas that don't get processed, right? So I've seen that a lot of time when a person has a lot of trauma from the past that hasn't been processed. They're in this perception of acute trauma, and they're in maybe perhaps a lot of stress or lots of anxiety or even depression sometimes can be connected to that. And then anything that's added on top of is just too much, right? So all of these different, whether it's acute, subacute, or even chronic traumas, can really activate our animal body and really affect how we live life, how we perceive life. Because again, it's about how we feel in regard to our animal body and what it's doing, what it's activating, what it's saying in regard to whether we're safe or not. And so that's really, really important to know. So this is the primary reason why when the fires happen, I automatically jumped to let's work with the animal body. Interestingly, the day before the fires happened, I wrote a blog about the animal body. I think that's part of being an intuitive. I had no idea. I mean, I did know that there were fires, but I didn't think that they were going to be coming toward me. I can imagine maybe the fires being here had something to do with it. But the article that I wrote was about how the animal body is a rate limiting step in our healing. And if you want to read that blog, it is still on my website underneath blogs. I forget exactly what it's called, but something about tending the animal body. So the reason why I bring this up is because when we go into a place of healing, awakening, we're opening to more light, we're opening to who we truly are from a higher place. What happens typically is that there's a lot of light, a lot of awareness brought into our being. If our animal body hasn't been tended, or we don't have a relationship to it, or if we have tended it, but there's just a lot of trauma that's there from this life or past lives that is still being activated, what will happen is that the animal body will shut down, will close down, will push the light away because it doesn't feel safe. Again, for the animal body, it's very black and white. Is it safe? Is it not safe? Right? And all of this light and all of this love to the animal body, believe it or not, sometimes it doesn't feel safe. So if the animal body isn't brought along for our healing journey, for our evolutionary journey, then oftentimes it's going to be a stopgap. It's going to prevent us from actually getting as far as we can. So in the short term, it might look like instead of taking 20 steps forward and a few steps back, we're going to take a few steps forward and a few steps back, right? That's usually how the healing realm goes. We take many steps forward and a few steps back. That's how it goes. But when the animal body is activated, we might take these 20 steps forward, but guess what? It's going to be 18 steps back, right? And so that's a big difference as compared to taking 10 steps forward and only 2 steps back. Right? So when we have our animal body along for the ride, we're going to be monitoring, we're going to be listening, we're going to be staying within our capacity and having that as a really strong intention and affirmation. Because if we've been through trauma, our animal body has already been through a lot. So what we're really being asked to do is to honor, to listen. And that's one of the primary things that I want to talk about now. And that is, what are the ways that we can connect to and tend our animal body on a daily level. So the first thing is to listen, to open up, to have a connection to our animal body so that we can listen to it, so that we can understand what its feelings, to understand what its needs are. And in this place, again, what we're looking for and feeling into more than anything, because as I said, it's not an intellectual experience here, it's more of a tending our feeling state. What we're really looking at is, does it feel safe? Does it feel not safe? And if it doesn't feel safe, then what needs to happen, right? So it's a matter of listening to and understanding actually how to listen to, because when we are connecting to these parts of ourselves from a feeling state, we really want to let go of the modern day perspective and rushing, right? Because these parts, if they've been traumatized, they're not going to respond to that. So what we want to do is open to them from an unconditional, accepting, loving place. Now, granted, the animal body might say all sorts of things, and some of the things will be like, oh yeah, that's totally in right alignment. But other things we might say, well, it's not a good idea to go punch that guy out because you're just angry at him, right? So that's when the adult consciousness comes in and kind of modulates that a little bit. But we do want to establish a relationship with this part. And so that is the second thing that we do. We learn how to establish a relationship with this aspect of ourselves. So in a few minutes, we're going to be doing a meditation to really help you connect in, feel in, have this holding presence with and for your animal body. And then what you're going to be invited to do is to actually establish a relationship with it. And the way that you do that is to create some time so that you can listen, that you can open up to this part. So whether for you that is having a regular meditation practice so that you're connecting in to this part of yourself, as well as whatever you're doing in meditation practice, you can definitely hold space for the animal body, 5 or 10 minutes of that. Or perhaps it is quiet activity, such as spiritual modalities that really connect you in, such as yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong or something else, right? Any time when you can drop into stillness and listen to what the animal body is saying, usually through feelings, sometimes words, sometimes symbols, then you're going to understand what it needs. And typically, whenever you've been in a traumatized place, whether that's acute, subacute, or even chronic, it might say things like, I need more sleep. I need to rest more. I need more downtime. I need more time in the hot tub or the bathtub. I need more snuggling time with my partner or my son or daughter, whatever that is, right? I need more time to recalibrate myself. And that could also be more time in spiritual practice. It could also be more time away, I should say less time connected to people, more time away from people and in your own isolation. Every now and then there are people that actually find a sense of comfort in socializing, but for most people, when they've been traumatized, they need some time to really, from an animal body perspective, lick their wounds, so to speak. And as I said before, sometimes the animal body has ideas that aren't necessarily in our highest good, such as punching a person in the face when they're angry, right? Other things that can come up is the sense of indulging. Now, when we're in acute trauma, very often people will reach out for substances to help calm their body. I know for sure I grabbed a glass of wine during that process just to help calm everything down. And that's really normal. However, if you find that you're overindulging for a long period of time, whether that be through alcohol, food, chocolate, marijuana, whatever that is, right? I just invite you just to find your way to connecting into what's right relationship with you. Finding a relationship with the substances and specifically with your body. What does your body really need as compared to the animal body, assuming that it wants more chocolate or wants a third, fourth glass of wine or whatever that is, right? So I'm just going to take a sip of water here. So the last thing that I want to talk about in the sense of what you can do on a daily level is you want to let your body move. So what has been found in research with animals is that when they are in a traumatic experience, so say for instance, there's a predator that has come after them and they've almost died, right? So very, very scary experience for the animal. When that has happened, what occurs once they're back to a place of safety is that their body will shake naturally. They go and it's almost like a seizure kind of experience. It's an instinct that is embedded in their nervous system. Now, for whatever reason, humans don't have this instinct anymore. My perception is that it's been socialized out of us, right? So what we need to do is we need to find ways to actually move our body to let this out, to literally cathart it out of us, whatever that looks like for you. For me, that's dancing. I'm a dancer. I love dancing. And as soon as I got back here, whenever the green light was given, we weren't on evacuation anymore. And as soon as I unpacked and rested a little bit, I was on the dance floor shaking it out, literally. And there were so many, it was one of the most packed dances I've been to. And there were so many people actually on the dance floor doing this thing right here, shaking their trauma out. So whether you're a dancer or not, I really invite you to find the way that works for you. So for you, maybe it's cycling, or maybe it's biking. I'm sorry, cycling is biking, or maybe it's running or hiking or rowing, whatever it is. I really invite you to find a way to allow the energy to move, because you don't want it to get stuck or frozen in your body. Because if you get it stuck or frozen in your body, what can happen is that you could actually then have a physiological symptom, which I see all the time in my practice because I'm a mind body spirit practitioner. You could also have that energy get stuck and frozen in your egoic system. An example of this is a person who hasn't really moved through the trauma of, I'll just use the example of being an evacuee, right? Hasn't moved through that trauma. And then when and if the next fire comes, they're in a completely melted PTSD experience, right? So we really want to move this trauma through our body so that we are free, so that the trauma isn't getting stuck in us. So with that said, let's go ahead and go on to meditation. So I'm going to invite you in this first part of the so again, there's gonna be two parts of meditation and the transmission. In the first part, I'm gonna invite you to sit. In the second part, you can either sit or you can lie down. Also, just as a reminder, I'm going to invite you to take some notes. So if you want to go grab a journal or a piece of paper, go ahead and do that now. I'll just give you a moment to do that. Take another sip of water. And if you already have your journal notebook, I invite you to hydrate. Hydration actually works wonders in not only in meditation, but also especially in receiving transmissions and in connecting on an energetic, intuitive level. Okay. So now go ahead and get in your nice, comfortable seated position. Go ahead and close your eyes. Take some nice deep breaths in and out. And what we're going to do is we're going to begin with a grounding. We're going to go deeper into grounding in a moment whenever we go into transmission. But for now, just take some time to focus on your breath. And on the next exhale, go ahead and drop your awareness down to the base of your spine. Excuse me. And on that next exhale, just see, feel, sense, know that you're dropping this grounding cord that's about the same diameter of your body down into the earth, moving through the foundation of your home, moving all the way down into and through all the different layers of the earth that are there, into and through the soil, rock, water, lava, and just really feeling yourself easily, effortlessly making your way all the way down to what I call your grounding sanctuary. So imagine, if you will, that at the very end of your grounding cord, that there's an electrical plug, and here at this place in the core of the earth is an electrical outlet. So just feel yourself connecting in by plugging your grounding cord into the outlet of Mother Earth. And as you do, it deeply allows all of you, especially your nervous system, to literally feel this low, slow pulse and vibration of the earth, to allow you to come to a place of grounded ease and grace. Just take a couple of deep breaths in and out here as you feel this grounding, both here in this vision at the center of the earth, as well as in your physical body, energetic body, your emotional body. And now, as you're ready, go ahead and bring this awareness back up, moving all the way back up now into your feet, into your calves, into your thighs, and into the base of your spine. Now, in a moment, we're going to connect with the animal body. But first, before we do that, we're going to connect with your higher self so that your higher self can hold space for this part of you. So in order to do that, we're going to move all the way up, moving up your central channel at your spinal cord, just feeling, sensing, knowing you're easily, effortlessly moving up your spine, moving up the back of the neck, moving up the head, moving all the way up to the top of the head. And I'm going to invite you to now connect to your eighth chakra. It's about 16 to 18 inches above your head. It's also known as your soul star chakra. And it is a place where our higher self, a big portion of our higher self, lives. So just inviting you now to move your awareness up to this higher self part of you. And if you're finding it difficult to move up to this higher self part of you, just open to where you are to connect to your higher self. Opening to this vast wisdom, this vast spaciousness, this absolute ability to be present with whatever is arising, no matter how intense it may be. Definitely has the ability to be present with our animal body, no matter how it shows up. From this unconditional acceptance, this love, this soft awareness, yet incredibly vast and powerful. So just opening to whatever level of connection that you have with your higher self in this moment. Another deep breath in and out here. And as you're ready, go ahead and drop down a part of your higher self that I call your witness consciousness. So in essence, it is absolutely connected to your higher self. It is like a conduit for higher self energy to flow through, and it has this pristine ability to be present in this powerful way, this unconditionally accepting way, no matter what's happening, no matter what's showing up. So just go ahead and drop this part of you, your witness consciousness, down to the top of your head. And then from this place, what I'm going to do first of all is to really invite in what I call the senses of the present moment. So inviting in feeling, intuiting, sensing way of being. And if your mind gets involved and it starts telling you a story about what you're experiencing or what you're seeing, just say thank you to your mind and just come back to this feeling, sensing, and intuiting ways of being. So remember, the animal body is very much connected to our feeling state. So, with that said, just holding that intention, knowing that the mind will be involved. There's no wrong way of doing this. Just noticing that when the mind does get involved, you say thank you. So, as you're ready now, asking the wisdom of your being, of your body, of your somatic being, to take you now to the place that is most holding your animal body. So just notice where you're being magnetized to. And you might notice that there's a very specific area. Maybe it's a pinpoint, or maybe it's a part of an organ or a whole organ, or it could be a whole body part like your arm, or it could be really vast. It could be your entire body, the outer layer of your body. So notice where you're being magnetized to, again, without a lot of thought. Just allow, just open. And just move into relationship with this part of you, with your higher self witness present. And just notice how this part of you shows up. Perhaps it's a feeling, or perhaps it looks a particular way, or you sense it in some other way. It's really being with whatever is showing itself. And notice that as you come into relationship with this part of you, notice if this part of you needs more space. So maybe it needs for you to back up. It's growling or snarling at you. It needs for you to back up. Or maybe it wants you to come really close. Maybe it's been waiting for you. So just allow the witness to be in the right and perfect distance. And just allow yourself just to drop in now into this way of holding space for your animal body. You might notice that your awareness is in your witness, or it might move now to your animal body. It might move back and forth, oscillating. If so, that's absolutely normal. As whatever's happening for you is happening, just notice what feelings are coming from it. Notice if it trusts you or not. Notice how it's doing. And as you're with this part of you, notice that in this moment, does it feel safe or does it feel unsafe? So, in other words, does the animal body, his or herself, feels safe, or is it agitated and feels unsafe? Even if you're in a place that is very safe, it might still feel unsafe. Just allowing it to be exactly as it is. Again, holding this unconditional acceptance. And then ask this part of you, is there anything that it wants to communicate to you? And that could be communicated through words or through actions or through feelings. So just open and listen. Knowing that whatever is being communicated to you, that you will remember with ease and grace. And now ask this part of you if it needs or desires something from you in order to feel more safe, more at peace. Just acknowledging whatever you're being told or shared with in any way. And from this higher self witness consciousness, see if this animal body will receive the compassion and the love, the presence of your higher self. Does it feel safe enough? If it doesn't, that's absolutely okay. But if it feels safe enough, just allow your higher self to show up to it, to tend it, be with it. Just allowing this higher part of you to fully be with, love, care, tend for your animal body right now in this moment. Notice how that feels to the animal body. Is it open to receive this? And just knowing that it's going to receive only the amount that it has capacity. I'm not going to push it beyond what it's ready for. And if it's in alignment with you, your higher self, your heart, I'm going to invite you now to make a commitment, a heartfelt, deep commitment to both listen to have a relationship with, and to tend your animal body. So notice what words are right for you. And if it's in alignment, go ahead and make that commitment now. Notice how the animal body receives this commitment from you. Whatever way it's receiving, there's no wrong way here. It's giving permission for it to be exactly as it is. Go ahead and take a couple more deep breaths in and out here. Just letting the animal body know that we're going to be moving out of awareness with it, but we're going to be coming back in just a moment. So as you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes, coming back to regular awareness. And I'm going to invite you now to grab your journal. We're going to take just a moment to jot down some notes. So if a lot came to you, I'm just going to invite you to write down phrases or words. And then after this broadcast, you can come back and fill in all the blanks. Again, we'll take a minute to do that. Okay, so go ahead and finish up whatever you're writing. And as you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes again. We are going to go now into the transmission portion of this event. And what I have been guided to do is to again lead us into meditation. And the other thing I just want to say is that there is a conglomeration here of the divine feminine energies of Earth Mother Sophia Gaia, Mother Mary, and Kuan Yin. So if it's important for them to say who is speaking, then they will say their name. Otherwise, know that we are working with this container. It's like a cauldron, if you will, of this divine feminine energy of compassion and nurturing and grounding. So with that said, again, go ahead and close your eyes if they're not closed yet. We're going to go back into grounding. So go ahead and drop your awareness again to the base of your spine. And since we've done this once, we're just going to easily, effortlessly have the intention that we're dropping our grounding cord, connecting all the way down, plugging your cord into that outlet at your grounding sanctuary, and dropping even further into that grounding sanctuary, dropping into this grounding that's here. And feeling that you're now being magnetized to the very center of the core of the earth into what I call the heart womb space of Sophia Gaia. So as you enter the sacred sanctuary, the sacred temple area, this feeling that you're walking into this nurturing, this loving, this powerful heart presence of the earth in this very powerful womb space. See that there is a place for you to sit or lie in the very center that perfectly works for you. So it could be a lazy boy chair, a massage chair, a bed, whatever works for you. Just go ahead and get nice and comfortable there. Now we open to the powerful love vibration, grounding, nurturing vibration of Sophia Gaia, recalibrating your animal body. We're coming back to this inner awareness of your animal body and just knowing that the animal body has underneath it this platform of grounding, of nurturing, of love. And seeing the animal body sit or lie in the same way that you are seeing here in the core of the earth, this vision. Really allowing the animal body opening to this powerful, loving, nurturing recalibration. Taking a few more deep breaths in and out here, knowing that you can come back to this at any time. So this recalibration will continue on throughout space and time in a way that's aligned with the highest good, both of your being and especially your animal body. Another deep breath in and out. And as you're ready, now moving awareness back up, moving it all the way back up into your feet, into your calves, into your thighs, moving now into the place that just a moment ago you were feeling in your animal body, wherever that is in your body, however you perceive that, now that you are in relationship with this part of you. Now we're opening the space to Kuan Yin and Mother Mary. We come to you at a unified field, and we now offer a womb space around your being on the outside of your field, like an egg. And in this womb like space of this egg, we are filling it with the life force of Divine Mother, of the Divine Feminine, of nurturing, of love, of exquisite presence. And we acknowledge the deep safety of this container, of also this amniotic fluid that you can easily breathe. You can open your eyes here in this amniotic fluid, in this egg like container. And we offer this healing, this tending, this nurturing love and support in honor of your animal body. Seeing, feeling, sensing this amniotic fluid as if it's a milky pearlescent substance. As if it is mother's milk, divine mother's milk, to the soft animal body that is so longing to be safe. So we are showing up now in direct relationship with your animal body in the way that it most longs for. Honoring that some of the animal bodies do not trust this energy, we honor that too. We come in unconditional acceptance, unconditional love. And as you call this in within your awareness, we are here in this unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, and this energy of divine feminine, divine mother love for as long as you and your animal body need it, desire it, want it. So we invite you to receive now, to allow in. We're holding and transmitting this energy in exact alignment with capacity and in exact alignment with what the animal body is ready to receive. If the animal body needs for more space, then we honor that. We move back. It needs us closer in, and the energy is closer in. We now open the field past time and space, and we invite your higher self now to drop in this nurturing love from Divine Mother, from Earth Mother, in through your timeline in the future, so that this energy will be here for you when you need it, especially when you call it in. We deeply honor your free will. And in this place of spacious presence, beloved, we now invite you to take a few more deep breaths in as this transmission in this time and space comes to a place of completion. We honor you, we love you, and we most want your animal body in its own right and perfect timing to feel safe so that you can live from this place of expansion, of healing, of remembering who you truly are, all in right and perfect timing. And so it is, beloved. And so it is. We now end this transmission. So, welcome back, everyone. We are at a minute over. We're just going to take a few more minutes. If you can hang with me just for a little bit longer, it would be wonderful. Before we end, I just want to echo what Mother Mary and Kuan Yin said in terms of us feeling safe. It's incredibly important. And when we do feel safe, we can move into a state of evolution and awakening at a very fast pace. So there's no wrong or right. There's no timing that's off here for you. It is just a matter of doing whatever nurturing and healing needs to happen in order for the animal body to feel safe. But I want to end with this quote from one of my favorite poets, Mary Oliver, from the poem Wild Geese. She says, "Allow the soft animal of your body to love what it loves." The very first time I ever heard that, I was so moved because I actually could tangibly feel my animal body and that desire to come back to this softness when the animal body feels safe. So I'm going to say this again and just really feel this. Allow the soft animal of your body to love what it loves. So with that, that is my biggest prayer for you in regard to this topic, that we all come to a place of listening to, having a relationship to, tending our animal body so that we can actually open up to the softness that's there. So with that, I'm going to end. Before I completely end, I just want to remind you this broadcast comes to you every third Friday of the month. We might change that in 2020, but for 2019, that's what's happening. And the next one is going to be on the true meaning of Christmas. And lastly, for those of you who are doing work with trauma, whether you're part of the fires or not, I have extended the discount for somatic awakening sessions throughout the end of November, and I still have some sessions left. And so it's a $20 discount for regular sessions, $50 discount for initial sessions. And this is just to help everyone who just walks through this trauma find more centeredness, more ease, more grace. So whatever happens for you, whatever that looks like, I just want to end by honoring you. I really am grateful that you connected in, whether it be this time period and this now or in the future. Really honoring you and your animal body, your process, your healing, your evolution, all of it. Thank you for being on the planet at this time. We need as many of us as possible to actually open, to see who we truly are, to heal whatever needs to happen in order to step further into our soul's light. So with that, many blessings, and until next time.